You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France?
No.
Tell him, Vincent.
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. You know why they call it that?
Because of the metric system?
Check out the big brain on bread.
Boys, get to work.
A please would be nice.
Excuse me?
I said a please would be nice.
Get it straight, Tadger. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do. And if it's to do a good podcast, you'd better do it and do it quick. I'm here to help and to host. And if my hosting's not appreciated, then lots of luck, fellas.
No, Mr. Wolf, it ain't like that. Your help is definitely appreciated.
I mean, I don't mean any disrespect. I just don't like people barking orders at me.
Look, if I'm caught with you, it's because time is a factor. I want to keep this podcast under an hour. I think fast, I talk fast, sometimes unintelligibly fast. I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this. So, pretty please, with sugar on top, let's get this podcast done. (1994's Pulp Fiction, directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring John Travolta as Vincent Vega, Samuel Jackson as Jules Winfield, Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace, Harvey Keitel as Winston Wolfe, Ving Rhames as Marcellus Wallace, and Bruce Willis as Butch Coolidge. Budget was $8.85 million, and at box office it took home a cracking $214 million. But before we get into the meat of the review, it's time to do some socials and the introductions. So I am back. I'm no deed. I had a wee week off last week because I was ill. It's your resident terrible host, PK, aka Jules. Boys, it's good to see you again. And we have James, aka Jimmy, and Colin, aka Winston Wolfe. How are you, boys? I've missed you.
Good to have you back, Paul.
It's good to see you, mate.
I know, I was gutted I missed Back to the Future, but hey ho, it's good to be back in the seat, even though I absolutely hate hosting, as you can probably tell by that awful intro. I thought I'd just try something different.
I thought it was good, mate. I quite enjoyed it.
I almost forgot which character I was at one point, but then I just...
I did think there was a couple of long pauses in there.
Yeah.
But I thought it might be a bit fun. I don't know if there's something we could do in the future. Maybe do that. A wee kind of screen read from the movies we're doing and just put a wee kind of Scottish twist on it. I don't know.
Saying that, Paul, we'll get Phantom Menace coming up soon. We know what the dialogue's like in that film.
I'm sure we could improve that.
We're Seismic Cinema, and you can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And you can watch us or listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and hopefully soon other places. And you can help Gary from our Seismic Soccer episodes buy himself a mic by donating at buymeacoffee.com/Seismic Cinema. Also, we are part of the PodPack Collective, and there are lots and lots of guests, so make sure you search them up on X, give them a follow, give them a listen. There's lots of good people in there.
Well, cheers for doing the plugs there, Colin. So, just a wee quick history of the movie with you two fellas. James, do you want to go first? What was your history with Pulp Fiction?
Watched it many moons ago. Can't put a time frame when I first seen it. But I remember it was when I was young, so kind of naive to the fact of what was going on, really. I remember watching it and thinking to myself, this film is very strange because of the way it is shot. You know, it's not in kind of in order, so it's out of edit this bit out, mate. Equilibrium. So it's out of equilibrium, and so I found that odd. But I do like the way that it does that because it keeps the viewer guessing what's happening next and stuff like that. So I do like that, and more films should be, I think, shot that way. I think, in my opinion. But sort of, I was younger, can't remember when, but I remember seeing it, and when I got a wee bit older, and I watched it when I was a wee bit older. It's an absolute classic. I love Quentin Tarantino. All his films, I don't think I can say there's a bad one out there. And it's obviously a lot of the content in this film is you wouldn't get away with it today. So I think for when it was released in 1994, it was at the time it was, I wouldn't say acceptable as such. I think I said that last week as well, but it was
I was going to say, I think he's got his knickers in a twist a couple of times with talking about what was acceptable in the 80s and all that kind of stuff.
100%. But certainly it's good, man. So I don't want to go into it too much now, man. But certainly it's I remember when I was younger, but as I watch it more and more, it's a film like if it's on the TV, mate, I'll watch it and I'll never turn it off. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm channel hopping. If it's on, either if it's the start, midway through, whatever, I'm going to watch it, mate. You know what I mean? So
No, it's good. What about you, Colin? What was your experience with Pulp Fiction? I think this is actually one where you've actually seen it before I have.
Well, there's something.
I know.
It's one I'd heard of for a long time because I'd seen some of the Tarantino films before that, so like Django Unchained and Kill Bill and the likes. And obviously, doing this podcast initially just with yourself, Paul, I took it as like a wee challenge to start watching a lot of the films that were the ones that everyone had seen or went on about. So I actually watched this, I think, in 2022 for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. I actually put it in I think I put it in my movie ranking that we did back then.
I think you did, that's right, yeah.
And I think, I'm not sure about this one, but I maybe mentioned it in my kind of soundtrack one as well, possibly. So yeah, I really enjoy it and enjoyed watching it this time round as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's the third. It might just be the second time I've seen it, or I might have seen it another once in between. I can't fully remember, but I'm glad I watched it before you.
Yeah, I actually think you pushed me to watch it. But it's one of these films that's always weird. You know, you get films that you feel like you've seen before because it's like everywhere, but then it turns out you've not actually seen it. You've just seen wee clips of it, and in your mind you've seen it, but you've not. So like I've seen like John Travolta doing the wee dance bit. I've seen like the clips of like Vince and Jules with the guns in the flat. When I was watching it, I was like, I've literally never seen 3/4 of this movie when I first watched it, and that was only about, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And like you're saying, some of the scenes, it's like, oh, pretty mental. So yeah, I only watched it a couple of months ago for the first time, and then I watched a wee bit of it again recently just to kind of give us a wee refresher, because it is one of these films where there's multiple storylines going on. There's so much happening. They all get intersect, but there's like loads of like wee interesting things going on at the same time throughout. So that was my kind of. I'm not just going to say the first time I watched it, I was a wee bit confused by what was going on. They turn up at the bar for the first time, and then they're like the pajamas or like their shorts and t-shirt and that. I'm like, why are they dressed like that? And I just didn't understand it. And then I got a wee bit confused by it all. So it did take me a couple of watches to understand like what was going on. But
I find it quite staggering. Sorry, mate. I find it quite staggering. You've just not seen it until a couple of months ago. Do you know what I mean?
Because like, I used to get like Banksy phone covers and stuff, and it had like Vince and Jules, but I had like some sort of like animal head or something on them. But it was like them two in their suits and the guns and that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that movie and that. And then I was like, I've never actually seen that movie. It's just in my head that I'd seen it for some reason. So it's James. I've done a Colin.
James, what about me? Are you surprised I only watched it 2 years ago?
Aye, absolutely. I remember at school, one of my mates had the wallet that Jules has got, and he always just kind of like show it, like I think we were an S5, S6 at the time, can't remember now, but it would be the exact same wallet. I don't know how much you paid for it, right enough, but aye. So that's
maybe,
like how far
maybe he stole it when he was robbing a restaurant.
possibly. We might have done, but I am at least we have now, or you guys have now seen the film. Do you know what I mean? Because it's
We're very well educated folk now.
yes,
But but it's just like I saying, it's just weird that I never remember seeing it on TV anywhere when I was growing up either. Like you see like Predator and Terminator and all that kind of stuff on all the time, but you never actually see. I've never seen Pulp Fiction until it was on Netflix.
I've got the DVD.
me too.
Right. So because you were saying, what did you say earlier on, James, about the equilibrium of the movie? It's kind of all over the place. To keep it interesting. So I'm going to switch up a wee bit. We usually keep our scores till the end, but I'm going to fling the scores in right now. But don't talk about why you give your scores, because we'll get into that later on. But just your scores in the doors as we go. So, Colin, what was your score for Pulp Fiction?
Whoa,
I like this.
Curveball.
that's a lot of pressure.
Well,
Right.
seeing as the movies, the start is the end and the end is the start. So
Probably give it 8.5.
8.5. So you fairly like the film. That's good. James, what about you?
See, I thought about this before I came on, and I was going 9, but I thought 9 wasn't good enough. But it wasn't good enough. Well, I say it's good enough. It's a great film, but I'm going to go 9.5.
9.5. So somebody really liked the film. I'm going to go 8 for now, but we'll get into it later on. See how we go.
Well, you forgot our disclaimer
What's our disclaimer?
that this is just our own like personal. Do you know how like we're not comparing it to like.
All right, aye. So we're not comparing
Yeah.
it to like every other movie ever made. This is just our personal opinion. So like a 10 in our eyes could be. It doesn't have to be the most perfect film ever made, like Oscar worthy. It's just in our opinion of our experiences. And if you think our score's wrong, then tough because it's ours.
Let's just end before all the hate mail.
All the hate mail on X or Twitter, whatever we call it.
No.
So we're talking about earlier. James had a wee kind of segue at the start about the equilibrium of the film. Colin, what did you think about the structure as a newbie to the film?
Well, obviously, the first time I watched it, I didn't know what to expect, and it does get a bit confusing when Vincent gets shot, because then obviously he's there not too long after. I really like that the last scene is back in the diner, which was the very start of the film. But yeah, I tried to kind of like put together like what order events actually happened in, but it started to hurt my head a little bit, so I didn't quite get there. But I do echo what James said, in that I like that it's a wee bit different, and how, because I remember that was something I liked about the first time I watched it, that it's non-linear, and it just makes it a wee bit different, although it does lead to a bit of confusion, which you said yourself you were a bit confused the first time, or when you watched it, because of the order.
Have you seen the film 7?
7. Yeah, I haven't seen the end actually. I've seen it right up to the end. I've not seen the end. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Aye. So it's not like this in a sense, but when you first watch 7, you're kind of thrown into a situation in the middle of something. So there's no really any kind of starting point. But every film that you see generally has got a start, middle, and an end. Whereas in 7, you just kind of are thrown into a situation. So that kind of messes with it as well, but not in the sense of this film, but that does it to a certain degree as well. But I think it does depend on the film and the content that it's got. Do you know what I mean? But I do like the fact that it's like this, and it keeps the viewers guessing what's happening, and how come that did they finish that story? How come it's just kind of cut off and then on a new story? Is it going to go back to that? So it raises a lot of questions.
Nah,
So
definitely. Definitely.
Conversation starter.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking, like, see when we were reviewing this movie, I was thinking this is gonna be a nightmare to try and review it. Like, see if we used to do it like we did the last time, like when we first started, like coming to do it beat by beat. Can you imagine trying to explain everything that was going on without bleeding into like what's going on in other parts of the film? Like you were saying about Vincent Vega, like he dies in one scene, and you're kind of like pure bummed out, like, oh, he's dead.
So
But I really liked
it
him.
happens so fast. Like you don't. It was maybe kind of like predicted that like you wouldn't kill off John Travolta's character that quickly with no build up when he was such a big part of the film. So it's maybe a hint that there's going to be a weird structure, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I was saying, like you do feel pretty bummed out when he dies, and then he's not in it. He's in it not long after, and you can like you kind of feel a bit better about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It kind of ends. It doesn't end on a sour note for Vincent Vega because you see him later on in the film. So I did enjoy that aspect of it. That it didn't just kind of end characters. You kind of got to see him later on, in different situations. Right. Talked about the structure of the film, and it's all kind of out of whack. I've got a structure for this episode, but do you want me to change it up a wee bit? I've left the quiz to the end. Do you want the quiz in the middle now, or do you want it at the end?
Oh.
End.
Okay. Because as you talk about the film, Colin, you have more answers. I say have it now.
Oh, good question. Oh, okay. Right.
How come I say one thing and he says the other? And I don't like people bark. I don't mean any disrespect, Paul, but I just don't like people barking orders at me.
It's called democracy, baby.
No, it's not. That was white.
I know, but I wanted to do it now as well.
Well, at least if I lose, I've got an excuse.
True. Right. I've got a set of questions, A and B. Who wants what?
B.
You want B? That means you've got A, James, okay?
Okay.
Right.
Just for the chase.
The first question for you is an absolute stinker. And I'm not really sure of the answer, but I'll let you know why, okay? So
You're not
what
sure
room number do Vincent and Jules go to get the case?
Oh.
And I think I know what it's. So it's 3 numbers, right? But I couldn't tell what the first number was because it's quite blurry on my screen. So I'll give you it if it's one of the two. I think it is.
I don't know, mate.
So it's an absolute stinker of a question, just to start you off, just to see the kind of flavour of the questions coming your
Do
way.
you get to steal answers?
No, but I'd like to hear your answer.
Is it 666?
No.
That's something in the film, though, isn't it? Is that not the combination to the law?
That's the combination to the case.
That's
not the room number, Colin.
I hope that's not a question.
That's why I didn't say my answer, because if that was the answer to the other question, it might come up.
You don't know
Don't
that.
worry, that doesn't turn up.
All right.
So
okay.
it's either 216 or 416. My screen was a bit blurry, so I couldn't really see it, but it's 216 or 416.
Is there any relevance to those numbers?
No, I just seen it. I thought I was going to mess with somebody right now at the start of the quiz and just annoy them.
See, doing these quizzes, it's really got to me. I write down the most mundane details now. If I hear a name or a street name, I'm like, oh, I need to write that down. Then I'm not allowed to use my notes, so it doesn't even matter.
Right, Colin, your first question. What's the burger joint called at the start? Where Jules eats the guy's Brett's burger. What's the burger joint called?
Oh man!
Don't you look at your screen? Don't look anywhere. Don't look anywhere.
I'm looking at the screen.
Eyes up.
I'll be honest, I don't know. Like as soon as you say it, I'll know it. But
James, do you know, for just credit the bank?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Big Kahuna Burger.
Ah,
That Hawaiian joint.
no.
Tasty burgers.
Right, James the boy.
Yep.
Number 2. What is Antoine Rockamora's nickname? Half black, half Samoan. Got thrown through his greenhouse.
I'm glad you got that question. That's going to sound really weird on Spotify.
No.
I think folk can see it. And,
Sorry, I'll edit this big minutes, pause it.
I think that's a. I think he's way
it's
too long
Rocky.
there, Paul.
I don't know. I don't know. I said it was something Rocky. I don't know, man. I can't remember now. I don't know.
It is. Colin, do you want to steal? Do you know this one? No.
No.
No, it's not a steal anyway. Just I thought the option. It's Tony Rocky Horror.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
It was Rocky something, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the guy who gave the foot rub.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't give an Arab man's wife a foot rub.
That's true. I would agree with that.
Also, we'll get into Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish later on. Colin, question 2.
Is there 5 questions?
There's 5 questions. A tiebreaker. Might need the tiebreaker if you both get nothing.
It's difficult, man.
It is difficult. That's why I chose it, because I'm just an asshole. So, number 2. What is the barman's name in Marcellus's club?
The barman's name.
Yeah.
Is this like an important plot point?
No.
It's just like just a random name.
It's his name. He says it.
He says his name.
He says his name.
I think we should be allowed to use notes.
And I know you read subtitles, so it says his name there too.
Is his name Barry?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You want to chime in here, James?
I don't know. I didn't even remember. That's what
it's probably the best name you've ever heard. Without a doubt.
Paul.
It's Paul.
Is it Paul?
It's Paul. Because like when he's asking Vincent about Vega, when he's asking Vincent about taking Mia out, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, Paul will never tell," or something like that. It's like, "Well, when did you fucking ask?"
That's right, yeah.
Right. Number 3, James. What is Vincent's drug dealer's name?
Lance.
Ding, ding, ding. We have the first score on the board after 5 questions.
Guys, I need to go.
Right, Colin. What is the name of the restaurant Vincent and Mia go to?
The restaurant.
Yes, they make a big deal out of the name as well. Mia does say it.
I can picture it. I'm rubbish at this, by the way. This is why I'm usually the quiz master when there's a quiz on. I don't know the answers.
To be fair, a couple of these questions do get a bit better. Well, actually, no, one of them does.
I think it depends on how. Like, I've seen this twice, maybe 3 times, but it's not like when I know inside and out, like a Hot Fuzz, for example.
I'll give you a clue.
I don't get close.
Nah.
It's not TGI Fridays.
Okay. I don't know. I'll just be honest.
It's Jack Rabbit Slims.
Yep, I knew that.
Well, it wasn't your question, so.
Ooh.
Somebody's getting a bit touchy. So, number 4, James.
Feel like Aberdeen.
What is Mia given to stop her overdosing?
Adrenaline.
Oh, he scored 2 on the board.
I could have got that. Now I need to score to stay in the game.
Hey, Colin.
I was going to say I jagged the breastplate. Would that have been right?
Technically, maybe. Are they maybe giving you out of pay? Right, number 4 for you, Colin. What will Vince be if Mia croaks on her?
What will he be?
Yeah, he says it to Lance.
Do you need the exact wording?
No, just the reference, just...
Well, he's a dead man. He'll be dead.
No, need more than that. I need something more,
You just said.
a bit more specific.
Bit more specific. You're not accepting that now.
No.
So repeat what the quote just before that.
What will Vince be if Mia croaks on her? He says it to Lance. He'd be like, hey man, I'll be if Mia croaks on me.
Don't know. Dead.
He'll-
Something like dead.
He'll be a grease spot.
Okay. James wins. Woohoo. Good. Well done, James.
Right, we'll do the last few questions just for funsies.
Keep going.
Right. James, where do they take the car to dump the body in the trunk? What's the name of the business?
The exact name? Just like
Well,
Joe's.
something close enough.
No, exact name, please.
Joe's. Truck. Joe's truck.
Yeah, I'll give you half. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get it. It's Joe's auto truck something.
Are you making it worse for yourself?
I don't think anyone would put the word something in a business name.
No, Joe's truck dismantles, something like that.
I'll give you half a point. It was Monster Joe's Truck and Tow.
All right, okay.
Can I get half a point?
Depends if you get this last one right. Last
I've
one.
already
wasn't your-
lost.
It wasn't
Already
your
lost.
question.
Just give me it.
I'll give you 3 points if you get this one right.
Let me know
For the win.
Next goal's the winner.
What book is Vince reading when he dies in the toilet?
Oh, come on.
I know that
Oatmeal enthusiast.
I know that one.
I don't know.
What-
I didn't
what
really
is
look
it,
that
James?
closely.
Is it Modesty Blaze?
That is correct.
Sure, it wasn't
So-
Oatmeal enthusiast.
I'm pretty sure it's Simpsons movie. So with a score of 2.5 to absolutely jack all, James is the winner of the Pulp Fiction quiz 2024.
Guys, I know it was my idea to start doing quizzes and that, but I think they've probably outstayed their welcome then. We should probably stop doing them.
2 zeros in a row, Colin. How do you feel?
I'm the kind of guy who I know a lot about the things I know a lot about, like my real like obsession interests, but I'm not as good at picking up just general knowledge. Like if you give me like a
General knowledge.
general knowledge, How I Met Your Mother quiz or Star Wars, Harry Potter, Spider-Man, things like that, I'd do well with them. But
Do you want a shot at the tiebreaker just to get some redemption? Because it's an easy one.
no, let's move on.
All right, I'm going to fire it out there. So I took the time and effort to write it down, so I'm going to fire it out there.
Exactly. Go for it.
I know
mate.
you struggle with handwriting formation.
I know, look at this, man. Doctors, it's worse than yours. So what are the robbers' names at the start and end of the movie?
Oh, I know this.
Go on,
I
son.
know.
Redemption.
Well, there's Honey Pie. No,
Give you half a point. Half a point.
is it wrong?
Honey pie.
Strong.
Oh, it's Honey and I saw it in the credits when I was watching it this morning.
No.
I know.
I think I'm just freaking out under the
Stage fright.
pressure. Yeah,
Stage fright.
it's yeah. I do know it. James is just going to say it, and then I'm going to feel rubbish.
Honey Bunch and Pumpkin.
Honey Bunny.
Honey Bunny.
You got it wrong as well.
God, it's like you two haven't even seen the film.
Yeah, up you.
So James is this week's winner.
Who says honey bunch? Guys, I think I should just host all the episodes from now on. You know,
I'm down with that. I'm 100%.
Deal.
Yep.
That's it. Deal.
No, I take that back. That's a lot of work. I take that back.
Right. So quiz is over. We finished on Pumpkin and Honey Bunny characters. Good characters at start and end. So, boys, who was your favourite characters in this movie? And who went first last time? Was it you, Colin? I'll go James. James, who's your favourite
James
character in
went
the movie?
first the last time.
I think my favourite character mate was Jules. I just like his I don't know if my first introduced to Jules was in the car with Vince, and he's talking to him about how they were just being like pals in the car on the way to get the briefcase. And then through his character, like, you know, being dead professional and stuff like that, and then all these quotes that he says, for the famous line, you know, his Bible quote that he says before he shoots people and things like that, and he's the whole scene inside the flat with Brett, and then moving on from that to kind of his, I don't know, kind of clarity moment when he comes to the end, when he knows he should be dead, and then it's like, nah, I need to get out this line of work now. I need to try and, you know, walk the earth and try and kind of soul search type thing. So his character, man, I think probably what's his name, John Travolta. Vinny has got a lot more dialogue probably in terms of more you see him more, but just the way that Jules, when he's on screen, you know he's on screen, and his dialogue's fantastic, man. I thought about this. I thought this question would come up, man, and it's either going to be Vinny or Jules, isn't it? But Jules for me, mate, top draw. His quotes are hilarious.
I can't. I'll see it. Who's your favourite character, Colin, first before we?
Well, if I was pushed, I would say Jules as well. I think Samuel L. Jackson's just hilarious in this film, and I think I've heard a lot of people say it's maybe his best role that he's done. But just for being a bit different, my screen name, I thought the Wolf was pretty brilliant for the short spell he's in the film, because he's just so like measured and chilled out, but just really methodical and just knows exactly. He's got a lot of presence about him as well. And there was he had a good line with his daughter, and it's like, just because you're a character doesn't mean you've got character, or something like that. And I just liked how chilled out he was. Like, he was giving them instructions to go and clean a car where someone had their head blown off, and he's just like, "Oh, can I get a coffee, by the way?" So he's got like half an hour to get all this done to get them out the house, but he's just chilling, having a coffee. Oh, there's a quiz question. He wanted lots of sugar and lots of cream. See, these are the wee details I pick up that don't come up as questions. But, yeah, I thought, hence why I put him as my screen name. I thought Winston Wolfe was a really memorable character who was in it for just a short spell, but made a real impact.
No, that's fair enough. I think probably anyone would have to say it probably Jules or Vincent, or even Winston, like you were saying. You know, it's funny, Winston Wolfe, like the first time I ever seen him, I'd never seen him in Pulp Fiction because I'd just never seen that scene.
Do you mean the actor or the character?
The character. He was doing direct line adverts for car
So
insurance.
was I.
And I was like, who's he meant to be? Is he just made up some character as meant to be like some like mafia guy or something? I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, that's the guy from Direct Line. But obviously he was in this. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I'd agree with both these. I'd probably, I don't know, I can have a soft spot for Vincent. I don't know if it's maybe just because he dies. I was more sad that he dies, because Jules gets quite a good resolution out of his storyline, whereas Vincent just kind of gets snuffed out of nothing. But I think that's because he's left alone by Jules, because Jules has this realization that he doesn't want to do this anymore. So I think if he was there, Vincent would still be alive. Is that right? Possibly, because they'd be working together.
Maybe, but I don't know. See that scene where he does die, I thought Marcellus may have been with him, because see that scene when Vince dies.
He runs him over.
He's in Butchie's flat. He runs him over. And he's got donuts and he's got 2 coffees in his hand.
Right.
So I don't know if he was going back to the apartment where he was, and he was in the toilet at the time. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that was the case, but I don't know if Marcellus would be there doing the dirty work. But he did say he wanted to hunt the whole earth for Butch because he stole the money and didn't throw the fight. So I don't know if Marcellus would have been there, but it just seemed a bit odd that he was there carrying those coffees at that moment in time when Butch ran him over. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what maybe marked Vincent down for me is he's just a total calamity, isn't he? Like, he just messes everything up, like accidentally, like shoots the guy in the back of the car and like takes out his boss's daughter and ends up giving her like an overdose and just what?
His wife.
What did I say?
His daughter.
Aye. No, not his daughter, his wife. That's right. Anyway, scratch that, edit that bit out. But no, he's funny and stuff. And it was interesting seeing John Travolta in that role, because obviously his most iconic role is probably Grease. Like, it's probably what would first come to people's mind when you think of him overall. But he's just like so chaotic, isn't he? Just in everything he does.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it when he was like got like pure spaced out after getting high, and he just looks so like it's unreal. He just wandering about, and like when Mia's talking to him through the intercom, he's just like looking around like, where's this voice coming from? And it's so freak out when she overdoses and he goes to Lance's house and stuff. I really like that because like they're just shouting and screaming at everybody, and everyone's freaking out, don't know what to do. It's like that's just really funny. You saying a call?
I had I kind of misremembered parts of this film. Like, I had it in my head that when Mia had the overdose that she died. So when they actually saved her, I was like, oh, I actually thought she died. But it's just the situation he got himself into. Imagine just coming through to that.
Did you notice that?
Sorry, you, James.
Sorry, I was going to say, did you notice the board game on the table when he was about to administer the adrenaline shot?
No, I didn't know.
It was Operation.
Was it?
Aye.
I think they've got that. I think they've got the shot of adrenaline to the heart in an Operation, do they?
I know, but it's just funny that it was there.
No.
What did you make about the relationship between Mia and Vincent? Like, they had quite good chemistry and had a good time out together, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they're into each other, but obviously hazards of the work is never good. Can't even give her a foot massage.
Yes. What's the views on the foot massage then? Is that an acceptable etiquette for a man to do?
Well, let's just see if I come into your house and I gave Aileen a foot massage. How would you feel?
I don't think she'd like it in the first place, but
I think you've got to remember.
I'd be very cross with you.
I think you've got to remember here, though, that Mia isn't exactly innocent in this. See the way that she acts when and Jack Rabbit Slims with Vince. So talking about, getting like close and all that sort of stuff, and they're talking about uncomfortable silences to grow people together, and the way that she was acting with the straw and with the cherry as well is all quite sexual. So in a way that she was probably kind of, I don't know, leading them on type thing. And then when they win the twist competition, they came home with the trophy, obviously, and then she was like, "Oh, I'll get a couple of drinks and stuff like that, and we'll put the music on and we'll have another wee dance and stuff." So Vince knew exactly where that was going because he wanted to get out of there right away. He's like, "Oh, I've one drink, it's no rude, I'll just leave." Because he knew because he knows deep down that Antoine was killed because he had given the foot massage. So if anything else was to happen, then he'd about suffer the same fate as Antoine, possibly.
Aye, true. That's very true. Aye, she was instigating quite a lot of stuff as well. Yeah, you're right. So back to the question. So Alien doesn't want a foot massage.
I'll ask her, right?
No, I'm good. I value my life.
It all depends if he's like Jules, but if he's the king of foot massages.
Yeah.
They don't even laugh when I do it. I think that's a quote from the film, isn't it?
No, it's
It doesn't tickle or something.
No,
No, that's what I said.
we said
Tickling makes you laugh.
Anyway,
I mean that scene in the restaurant's also where I grew to really love "Son of a Preacher Man." It's generally one of my favorite songs now.
I know that's the third week in a row you've mentioned it.
I was going to say that.
This is the most. This is the most fitting place to mention it, though, isn't it?
It's true.
I was wondering when to come up, mate. To be honest with you, you've been building it up for the last 2 podcasts.
It's such a tune, though, isn't it?
Give us a wee rendition.
No,
Yeah.
that's for the Patreon. That's for the Patreons only.
Boo.
Right.
Such a prude. What was your favourite bit of music, James?
Oh, I think the soundtrack was awesome all the way through it, man. It's hard to kind of put a one song on it. I think the Chuck Berry one, see when they're dancing to it, and Jack Rabbit Slims, because we did obviously Back to the Future last week, and Chuck Berry was obviously playing in that as well when he played the guitar at the end and the prom. What's it called again? I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
Oh, that's such a good link between the two films, isn't it?
Yes, I was about to say, man. So it's the Chuck Berry. So that was that song. And a lot of songs you hear in the film is like so iconic, and you still play them to this day. Do you know what I mean? Well, I technically don't play them, but if I would recognise it, do you know what I mean?
And I'm going to go into a James deep dive and say, so Chuck Berry was playing music in Back to the Future, and Chuck Berry was playing in Pulp Fiction. Does that mean they share the same universe? Because Chuck Berry exists in both. So food for thought.
That's a comfortable silence right there. By the way, we could do Son of a Preacher Man if we go line about.
What?
So what did you say that?
We could sing Son of a Preacher Man if we do it like we'll do a line from the song each.
Oh.
No, I've got a sore throat, sorry. Bad. No habla inglés. But anyway, back to, movie review stuff. So like out of all the different intersecting stories, what was your favourite story? So obviously you've got like Butch's story, you've got Vincent and Mia's story, you got Joe's story, you got the one with Winston Wolfe and all that. So what was your favourite kind of just wee snippet of a storyline? You even got Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, that kind of stuff.
Who's this to?
You're
You're kind of looking at me, but you could also be looking at James, so it's kind of hard to tell.
I'm looking at you, Colin.
I'll go with my gut. What kind of first came to mind? I think I like the Jules and Mia bit where they go out for, not just because they played Son of a Preacher Man, but when they went out for the meal and just the chaos afterwards. Although it just freaks you out, like the situation he was in was just so precarious, and having to administer the adrenaline to somebody, I don't think I could do that. But yeah, I'll go for the Vince and Mia sequence.
No, it's good. What about you, James?
I would go with the briefcase scene, getting the
At the
briefcase
start?
scene. Aye. Obviously, you're just introduced to Jules and Vincent at a time, and they have to get this briefcase, and it's just they're all kind of nicey. But at the same time, you know, they're like you walk into the flat, they're the boss. You know who they work for, and it's just the dialogue in that is so, you know, memorable because, like you say, he talks about the burger, he drinks all his juice as well. That's in saying that I'm the boss here. I'm going to come here, eat your burger, drink your juice, and you know I'm going to kill you essentially. But even the dialogue between him and Brett, which I thought his name was Brad, to be honest with you, until I had read the subtitles a while back. This wasn't a recent viewing, but a while back I thought it was Brad, but it's Brett, and it's like you know that bit where he goes, say what again.
Do they speak what in English?
Western language I've never heard of, and it's like, and they ask if you know, do you know who Marcellus Wallace is? You know, it's that whole scene's great, man. And then obviously the Bible quote, Ezekiel 25:17, I think it is. Could be wrong.
That should have been a quiz question, by the way.
It is Ezekiel 25:17, yes.
There we go, man.
Are you going to give us a wee rendition?
Oh, now you're talking. I
There's
can't
a
remember.
passage I got memorized.
I can't remember it. No, I know it's like you know, I will strike down upon you with great vengeance and furious anger. For those who attempt to poison and destroy you. You'll know my name is the Lord. I can't remember now exactly what it was, but
That's not bad, by the way. You're not far away.
Okay. Would I get a point for that in the quiz? Would you?
You just sneaked it.
Can you imagine like him saying that to you? Like and see that scene as well. I've got to say, see Vince in that scene is brilliant because he's in the background getting the briefcase, and then when he starts saying that Bible verse, Vince stands behind him, and he stands like he's in church type thing because he knows what's coming. You know, he's praying with him, blah blah blah, and then they both shoot him. Joel shoots him for the front, and Vince shoots him for the back. And even before that as well, he shoots the guy on the couch.
Oh yeah, it's a kind of wee precursor.
He shoots the guy on the couch, and I keep it anywhere. Just shoots the guy on the couch, and I was like, that guy was on the couch the whole time. Didn't even kind of like sit up or anything like that. I mean, he was just kind of being lazy, and so he shot him.
And he cooperated as well, didn't he? He was the one that told him where the briefcase was in the cupboard.
That's right. And then what's that guy's name now? Who did he shoot again in the face?
Brett.
No, the guy in later.
Oh, the guy hiding.
No, the guy on the couch.
The guy opens the door for him.
Oh.
Is it Marvin or something like that? His name is.
That's the guy who
gets shot in the car. Yeah.
But because he goes to talk and he goes, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good quote, man. But I'll see just for that. Jules just owns it, man.
James, see the light at your end. It looks like you just opened the briefcase.
No.
Do you ever find out what's in the briefcase now?
No.
It's the golden ticket to Willy Wonka.
I was listening to some of what's the scripts review, and they were saying that it's never really revealed, and it's kind of just left up to the imagination of the viewer.
What? So you mean you listen to our podcast and you still don't get nothing on the quiz?
Yep.
God damn, Colin. God damn.
I'm
pretty sure they go through a scene for scene too.
I didn't manage to get through the whole thing. I've been packing today.
I'm only kidding. I just like it when it's not me losing the quiz. It's just
well, that's what it is.
Tarantino said that.
Oh,
said,
just wait till the Phantom Menace quiz in 2 weeks, by the way.
Well, no, I'm going to lose that one. Anyway, Tarantino said that he would the contents of the briefcase wasn't really relevant to the film.
Guy, just
it just had to get to A to B, and it left the viewer guessing what was in it. So it could have been money, it could have been gold. You know what I mean? It could have, don't know what it could have been. To be honest with you, but it was important whatever it was, because even in the end scene, Pumpkin Tim Roth is like, is that what I think it is? So we still don't know. We're still kind of go, what's in the briefcase, man? Tell us.
Guys, I actually know what's in the briefcase. In it, you'll find Craig and Chris from What's the Script.
Oh,
Oh, I like it.
We shout out.
I like that one, man.
yeah, cheeky wee devil, yeah.
They'll
We're
like
gonna
that.
start. We're gonna need to start getting commission for these kind of things.
They'll like that.
Right, so that was our favourite scene, favourite kind of storyline. Did you have a favourite scene within the storyline, or was it just the storyline itself? Yeah, pretty much. You don't need to talk about a scene.
Nah, that's what I did that pretty much.
Yeah.
By and large.
I'm so good at hosting, I need to ask you what I'm doing.
That's alright. We'll hold your hand.
Yeah, thanks. We've pretty much talked about our favourite quotes, haven't we? Colin, have you got a favourite quote? Did we get your favourite quote?
I've got a few written down as usual with the quotation marks around them to remind me. I can't even remember what this was to do with. Oh, I wrote it down. Can you remember where this was from? I'll shoot him on general principle.
That's the end scene.
Aye.
Because Jules is letting them go, and Vince is
Yeah.
like, no, I need to shoot him in just general principle. So that was the end scene.
Actually, what I'll go for is the first one I wrote down, which was James has used it already, but check out the big brain on Brett. I quite like that one.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right. We've kind of gone through our favourite things, done our scores. Now I think it's maybe a good time to go to the comments. Fair to say. Every week we put a wee post out on X. Colin, James usually do that. And we see what response we get. See if people like it, see if they don't. So just excuse me. Just going to read out a few that we got on it. Was it just X we got comments on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's fine then.
It's the best for interaction.
So we've got Craig from What's the Script, who we just found in the briefcase, and he just put his favourite quote is, "I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. Those who attempt to poison us destroy my brothers, and you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you." And then Colin just wrote back, "Samuel Jackson is amazing."
He is though.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get accused. I didn't want to get accused of what was it? Very formal reply again.
Very formal reply, yes. Yeah, wee rascal, yeah. Podtastic Audio said, "Hey, I saw it in theaters when I was in high school. Even picked up the soundtrack CD. Loved it. The dialogue sucks you in, and the wraparound in brackets end as the beginning was something we never saw before. Wow, I think I'm going to watch it tonight." So I'm glad Pulp Fiction inspired this episode, which then in turn inspired Podtastic Audio to watch Pulp Fiction again. So I feel like we've done a service.
You're not very good at saying that name, are you?
I know, Podtastic.
Now,
So-
Colin.
Podtastic Audio. A good wee podcast. So then we've got Just Football Podcast, which is Dan's other side project with the other Dan from Casting Views. And it's amazing how all those stories tie up. Masterful storytelling, which I think we've all agreed it's really well done how it all ties up. Because it's easy for these films to get really confused and not tell a story. Like I'm going to go back to Rebel Moon Part 1, where they've got hundreds of characters and you don't know anything about them at all and they're not interesting whatsoever.
I can't remember if this is a Tarantino film, but is it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Is that a Tarantino film? No.
Aye.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really did not enjoy that. I saw that in cinema and I just didn't get it. if I'm honest. Don't know if
I've
you
not
guys have
seen
seen
it.
it.
Is that the one that's 3 hours long or something? 3.5 hours.
Sometimes long films are good, like Wolf of Wall Street flies by, for example. But no, I just didn't enjoy it.
Nah, I've not seen it. It's not something that's never caught my eye, to be honest. Have you seen it, James?
It's the one with DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, isn't it?
Do you like it?
I thought it was alright. Aye.
Maybe I just wasn't as into those sort of films at that time. Maybe it's one to rewatch.
Maybe you watch, aye.
I think. Oh, what is your favourite Tarantino movie that you've seen so far?
Me or James?
James.
Well, I don't know if I can pick any, man. Pulp Fiction is there. Reservoir Dogs as well. It's got to be there, man. I want to say probably Django Unchained as well. Like, I can't put me in a spot now. I couldn't pick which one would be the best one.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It'd probably be between Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, to be honest.
Nice. What about you, Colin?
I'll go Pulp Fiction because I've not seen Django Unchained in maybe 10 years, and Kill Bill probably around about then as well. I made a note in my phone today because I'm going to get abuse about this, but I don't care. This is all part of the process. I've not actually seen Reservoir Dogs, but I have written it down. Craig, before you
How dare
at
you,
me.
Colin? How dare you, Colin?
Have you seen it?
It's nice knowing you.
Have you seen it, Paul?
No.
James, Paul's not seen it either.
I've came back.
Although
I've
I'm actually meant to be doing it with Sean from Review It Yourself at some point because I'd said I'd never seen it. So we can maybe do that together, Colin, if you've never seen it before.
I wonder how many times we've like said we guessed on things that haven't actually happened.
I know. We're just
It's probably a big list somewhere.
Yes, true. Still got another couple of comments. We've went off a wee tangent now. We Needed Roads podcast that inspired by Back to the Future, who was also on our latest Seismic Cinema, Seismic Soccer episode. It's still an all-time classic with some of the most quotable and recognisable lines of all time, with just a wee gif of Samuel L. Jackson saying, "Go on." Don't know why I went for English though. Go on, go on. Like Mr. Doyle at Father Ted. And then Gray's Taproom podcast said it's one of the greatest movies of all time. And judging by your score, James, I think maybe you might agree with that. It's one of the top films kicking about for you. 9.5.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. My top 5 probably change quite often. If you're people listening back to our podcast, then it's like, oh, well, James has said that's his top 5 and there's about 10 films on the list.
I'd pick your top 5. Save it for the rank or our future ranking episode.
Yes. It is up there, mate. 100%, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just like what the comments said, it is just great storytelling in a different way. Do you know what I mean? Not that we're used to. And all the characters are kind of interlinked and things. Do you know what I mean? And the relationships and the dialogue with them all. It's going to be.
Was there anything about the movie you didn't like? Go you, Colin, first. Was there anything that you wasn't particularly a fan of, or just something that it just didn't click with you?
I think maybe just like obviously you've got all the different storylines, but like I don't know. Do you guys know exactly what order everything went in, or is it are you not really supposed to know, and it's more just about how they link together rather than
Yeah, I think the overlap and stuff like that. I don't think it's like a linear line.
The scene in the kind of basement of the shop is obviously quite an uncomfortable watch, so it's not my favorite part of the film.
No.
Can you elaborate more on that? I don't know what scene you're talking about.
It's the scene with the.
Can you describe it in detail, please?
No, thank you. I'll take the 5th.
Yes. We're not a fan of gimp suits in this podcast.
No, that scene's just a hard watch.
Yeah, it's just weird to think somebody came up with that, like as an idea. Like, how are we going to get him out of that situation? Well, They might end up here doing this, doing that, and
I know it's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
yeah. What about you, James? Was there anything you didn't particularly like or didn't click with?
Well, that scene, in the pawn shop basement certainly is up there with the most distressing, uncomfortable scenes, which kind of was a wee bit of foreshadowing there. Because
Oh, Craig's rubbing his hand.
do you know where in the apartment with Brett, he asks him if does he know who Marcellus Wallace is? And he goes, "Does he look like a bitch?" And then he talks about how can I put this?
Giving them good rogering from behind.
Yes, glad you said that. So does he like that? And then later on in the film, that's what progresses to happen in the pawn shop. So that's a wee bit of foreshadowing there.
Didn't
catch that one.
No. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think the whole story. I don't know. For some reason, I didn't really like the storyline with Bruce Willis in it. I didn't like him and his girlfriend. For some, I don't know. I just didn't like the characters that much. And
I'm with you on that. I wasn't a big fan of that bit either.
yeah, and then like he killed Vincent without even trying. Like, and I like Vincent. I was kind of like saying it kind of bummed me out a wee bit. So I was like, that's why I kind of gave it an 8 because like I didn't really like their arc. You know what I mean? Like they seem to get away pretty good, and I didn't think they deserved to, or they should have. If you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I didn't enjoy it that much. It's just that was the one story arc for me that just kind of
that was being built up,
got
wasn't
me.
it? Though that was being built up though that bit because the Butch and Vince met each other in the bar, talking to Paul.
Yeah.
They didn't know his name, and they were going kind of back and forward, weren't they? Like, Butch doesn't usually get spoken to that way, and it's like who's just this guy think he is type thing. And from that scene, it's like, oh, is something going to happen later on in that film between the two? Because something isn't quite right there. And then we know that that does happen. Butch shoots him. I do agree with you as well, mate. I think she was French, wasn't she? His girlfriend. She was just kind of there, being quite annoying, to be honest with you.
They're trying to get a dodge, and she's just hanging about. And you're like, just get on the bloody bike.
That's scene. See when like you know how much danger they're in, and she's just like
faffing
putting it off. Yeah.
But he knows how much danger they're in, but she doesn't really kind of grasp how much, really, does she? It's all just kind of like, oh.
She's a bit naive to it all.
Aye. Well, it'd be a shame to not mention Christopher Walken as well, since he's in the film.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. That's a weird wee segue into it.
I actually wrote down that why did he have to give that level of detail to like a young boy? But where they were storing the watch.
No. You think you think he would have, died just in the camp, prisoner war camp, as just being a prisoner. But that's not how you find out how he passed away, do we? So that was good. For the short space, it was only 5 minutes after that he was in it. But it was a mad scene. I think that was the very first scene in chronological order. That would be the first scene in the film. Because Butch is obviously young at the time.
Yeah, true. I love Christopher Walken, man. He's so good. Surely somebody among us must have a good Christopher Walken impression.
I don't.
Oh, this is poor, man. Colin,
I watched a kind of documentary. No documentary. It was a thing on Instagram or something like that, and it was Dave Grohl for the Foo Fighters, and he was like, "Oh, I can do Christopher Walken because he on like Saturday Night Live or something like that, or some Saturday night show, he would introduce them, and he'd be like Foo Fighters, and he just he just kept on doing it, and he could do many more sentences. But I think it's one of the hardest things to do.
He's got a very specific sounding voice.
Aye.
And he's got some moves, by the way, that Christopher Walken. You ever seen him in that Fatboy Slim video? Weapon of
Oh, aye,
Choice.
aye. Definitely, man. It's brilliant.
He's got some snake hips on him.
Mhm.
Now we've talked about the legend that is Christopher Walken, and I think we've pretty much dissected this movie pretty well, I'd say. I've had a pretty awful quiz that's scarred everyone for life. I think that's
Particularly me.
Particularly you, Colin. I'm sorry. I think that'd be a good time to close off, unless anyone has any closing arguments or things they want to bring up.
Paul, I'd just like to say that I think you do yourself a disservice. I think your lack of structure for this episode was good on purpose.
I just like to set the bar low, so I'm never disappointed.
No, like put yourself down, but you did a good job. So
Thanks.
No,
I'm
I'm
very
not done, mate. I did
You're
enjoy
right.
it myself.
I like the self-deprecating nature of myself, and I'm enjoying this wee therapy session we're having at the end of Pulp Fiction. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I appreciate the words at the end of Back to the Future too.
I can't remember what they were.
You said even though I was sick, I was doing all the good stuff behind the edit and all that. And I was I kept that bit in. I didn't edit that bit. You know, I was crying a wee bit doing the editing.
That's all you're getting this month, so enjoy it.
Well, it's all I've had in fucking 2 years.
That's more than enough.
I know. Right. Anyway, enough of that nonsense we're talking about the end there. So we'll do the wee plugs. So as you know, we are Seismic Cinema. If you've followed us through this, then hopefully you've liked what you've heard. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. And we have a Facebook. We don't really, not a lot of action on Facebook. X is probably where you might find us most to get most interaction. Colin's usually on there, spreading the good word on episodes and just spread the positivity. Instagram, you can find us there too. Threads, I think's a dead platform anyway, but you know, if you see us there, give us a wee follow. TikTok, I need to get my game on TikTok. I do the TikToks, but I'm a bit behind and I'm not very sure how to go viral yet, so we'll see what happens. So, like I was saying, we've got a YouTube. Search Seismic Cinema. Subscribe, like, share. If you've got any pals, send them our way. If they like mediocre Scottish podcasts, you know. Only when I'm hosting it's mediocre. When you used to do it, it's amazing. Sorry, I meant to say that. So yeah, subscribe on Spotify. Give us a wee 5-star rating if you think it's good enough. Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, if you're on Good Pods as well, it's a good place. Give us a wee rating there. We've got a Buy Me a Coffee page if you want to find equipment for Gary. There's the Seismic Soccer episodes. And we're also part of the PodPack Collective, which is just a wee collective of podcasts, independent, that I try to spread a good positive vibe through the independent podcast community. So you can just find that on Twitter as well. Find all the pods out there. I think there's about 10 of us now, so I'm not going to go through it all, but they're all really great people. And yeah, enjoy it. And who wants to do the tagline for the pod, boys? Who wants to do the honours?
See, before we do that, I've got an idea how to go viral.
Oh, no.
I think you and Colin should recreate the dance between Mia and Vince, and then just use that as the promo video. I think you should be good at it.
I'm sure we can arrange that.
Walking.
We don't have a disco dance floor.
Doesn't matter. Just do the dance.
We can't do the copyright music. Sorry, I can't get
Okay.
it.
Off a shot.
Right, Colin, what is the tagline?
Okay, so we are Seismic Cinema, and we believe in having a royale with cheese.
Oh, can you top that, James?
We are Seismic Cinema, and we believe in the power of escapism.
I was going to say we are Seismic Cinema, and we believe in the power of escaping the gimpy basement.
I thought I would just call it an end there, because usually you do the funny one. Colin does the
I
right
can edit
one.
this bit
The
out.
standard. But anyway, I think that's a good place to end. So thank you, boys, and let's go get some Le Royales with cheese.
We happy? Vincent! We happy?
Yeah, we happy.